Hello everyone, Kent Bresler here. I want to welcome you to Kent's Kidney Stories. During our time together over these podcasts, I'd like to discuss kidney disease. I'd like to tell you about my journey as a transplant patient, but also talk about dialysis, kidney donation, and just about anything else that might be of interest. Kent's Kidney Stories, podcast endorsed and sponsored by kidneysolutions.org.
Hello, everybody. Kent Bresler here. Kent's Kidney Stories, and we're going to do some podcasting. And I'm going to podcast myself today because I've been on a very interesting journey for the last going on 7 months now. So before we start, I'd like to say a little prayer. Heavenly Father, fear often holds us back from embracing new opportunities and stepping out of our comfort zone. Help us release our fears and trust in your divine protection. Give us the courage to confront our fears, confront them head on, and discover the limitless possibilities that lie beyond them. Thank you for instilling bravery and strength within us. And by every means possible, please protect those on dialysis or those looking for a kidney transplant. It's a very, very great honor to have you being in our corner. Bring your blessings on all those who suffer from kidney disease and all those struggling with it. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Well, I want to get started this morning by telling you that this has been very, very difficult for me these past few months. I've been rather sick. It's been very difficult because I face some major hurdles. But I have to tell you, you don't have to listen to the whole thing if you don't want to. I came out really well, and I'm so blessed. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that I started this whole journey, this life's journey, with a kidney transplant from my brother 37 years ago. And I've had that functioning kidney for that long. And by the grace of God and his loving hand and Kip's willingness to give me that kidney, I've been blessed. Roughly 14 years ago, I had what they call an abdominal aortic aneurysm, or a AAA. It's a bulging of the aorta. That's the major vessel that runs from your heart and pumps blood to the entire body. And it has a tendency over time sometimes to develop what they call bulges or aneurysms. And I had one of those 14 years ago, as I say, almost 15 now. And Dr. Joe Venus, one of my great friends and vascular surgeons who has since passed, did what you call an endoscopically repair of this aneurysm by going up through my groin and sticking a graft within that aorta, the length of it, to seal it off so that the blood could flow through the graft and not pressurize and rupture that aneurysm. Now, that was very successful. And again, I went 15 years without any problems and spent a lot of time with follow-up. And Dr. Bowser in Fredericksburg, Texas, at the little hospital over there, has followed me all of these years. And in August, I went in for an ultrasound of my abdomen, and it picked up a new bulge in the aorta. In other words, it bulged away from the graft and at the top and at the bottom, and it was showing about 7 centimeters, which is pretty good size. Lethal for sure. So on in September, right at the very beginning, we did a CT scan, which with contrast, but they did it of the entire chest and abdomen to mark how far it had gone. And that CT scan also picked up not only the aneurysm, but it picked up a 2.2 centimeter mass or on my kidney, on the transplanted kidney. It's very small, 2.2 centimeters. And so that necessitated the need for me to, first of all, have this aneurysm taken care of, but we also had to work up this mass in the kidney. And I was able to find a really great urologist in San Antonio. His name's Dr. Harmon, and he evaluated it and told me that this whole kidney issue, if you had a mass that was more than 3.5 to 4 up into the 5 range, that you'd have to remove the entire kidney. Well, needless to say, being this was my only kidney, removing the entire kidney would mean that I'd go back on dialysis, and I would have to use that for my kidney function, but I could also have a transplant. That was the farthest thing from my mind at that point in time. He told me this 2.2 centimeter mass was negotiable. In other words, it could be dealt with. And by what you call an ablation, and a radiographic ablation, where they go in and just essentially, burn it, take it out. And what was significant about this whole thing in the kidney itself, that on a transplanted kidney, 95% of them are cancerous. 95% of the time they're going to show a renal cell carcinoma clear type. So it had to be removed or dealt with, let's just say that. If it had been any larger, they'd had to take the kidney. So we go back to September 18th, middle of September. Dr. Bresler went in and did an endovascular repair of the aneurysm and the leak, because it was leaking. And this took 4.5 hours. It was on the table for 4.5 hours. And he was able, as he said, to have dealt with as best he could. He did all he could do, and the scans afterwards, 2 months afterwards, showed that it reduced the aneurysm significantly out of the danger zone, which I thought was a good deal. and trust me, I was very happy about that. Bowser and the folks over at Methodist Hospital in Fredericksburg, Texas, were just fantastic. I mean, the care I got there was just out of this world. And the follow-up that I've gotten from Dr. Bowser has been top-notch. You can't get that just anywhere. I was so pleased to have been able to have him do this procedure. Well, after it was done, I was in the hospital for 2 hours, or 2 days. And came home, and I took 6 weeks to heal. And I'm glad I did. I was concerned because the tumor on the kidney was bothering me. Mentally, it bothered me a great deal. And I happened to notice something on the internet, which I usually don't look for medical stuff on the internet unless it's, been vetted and just in general. This one doctor said, you really, I made the comment that I've had this surgery coming up, and he mentioned this is an internet doctor. He said, I don't think that's the way to go. I believe you should have that kidney taken out, and that, it's going to be cancer, and you should wait and go on dialysis and have a transplant. And I thought to myself, that kind of information is not conducive to good health. And so I blocked him. I took him out of my, you know, uh, profile. He's gone. I didn't want it. I didn't want that at all. And it didn't happen. Okay. So let's spring forward now after this procedure for the aneurysm. Um, we went ahead in November, I guess it was. Yeah, in November. And I went to Methodist Hospital in San Antonio and had this tumor on the kidney ablated. Now, when they just prior to that, having it ablated, or let's just essentially say burned off, it was found on biopsy that it was for sure renal cell carcinoma clear type. And so having this removed via this ablation or this radioablation was a godsend because I got to keep the kidney. And all of this has been it's been difficult because it did raise my creatinine level from a very normal 1.0 up to 1.5. At one point it was 1.59. But since the ablation and since the recovery period now, which is going on nearing 4 months, 5 months, somewhere in there, my creatinine has been heading backwards. It's down to 1.3. I doubt very much if we're gonna see a return to normal, but I can always hope and pray that it does. But I wanted to use this time to tell you that you need to be very conscientious of making doctor's appointments. And oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you on that CT scan, they also found some nodules in my lungs, which I've gone to a specialist about, and we're watching, and they're going. A couple of them have gone away, and they feel that these small nodules will recede, or I can live with them, so it's not an issue. But again, back to my point, you spend a lot of time worrying about things, and if you worry about them, you understand that worry's not going to do you a whole lot of good. But to be focused on the fact that through prayers and supplication, you sure can tolerate this kind of thing. Doing a podcast on this or trying to explain it, how limited your thoughts are in this case. It was a tough go, but I made it. Right? I really did. I've been so grateful for all the people around me that helped me through this whole phase. I'm 75 years old, and I can tell you more birthdays will come for me. I'm back to working out, walking 3 to 4 miles a day, 5 days a week. I'm watching what I eat. Haven't gone on any special diets, been doing everything in moderation, but I'm living. So I think if you take away anything from just this retrospective review of surgeries and catastrophes, you'll understand the fact that it's on you, not on anybody else. I think your most important thing is to seek out the best medical attention you can get And for goodness sake, keep your doctor's appointments because none of this would have been found had I not done that. Those doctor's appointments are, especially after transplant, they're not rudimentary. They're very, very important. It's very important to take your medicines and realize that these medications that you're on, these immunosuppressives, they do a lot of damage in your system over time. If you have longevity with your kidney transplant, I can tell you that you're going to have some difficulties from the immunosuppressive drugs. But again, being healthy, doing what you need to do, and realizing that this is not a cure, these transplants aren't a cure. But if the longer you go with the transplant, the longer you have that kidney, you're going to still have common, normal issues with health. And you have to coordinate your own care. And the old saying, I keep saying it, people say it all the time, you got to be your own advocate. All right. During this time, I was told also by Dr. Harmon, the kidney specialist, urologist, that really this is a small growing mass that we could probably wait sometime, maybe a year or more before we dealt with this. And I never felt that waiting was part of my life. I'm more of a let's go get it done type of person, and I'm glad I did because you have that over your head. Now, there's no guarantee that it won't that it won't come up somewhere else. I don't think I need to think about that, but I know that by following up on it consistently, and which we'll do with an MRI every 6 months to a year, we're going to find these things um, and find them early. You can't do that if you don't go to the doctor. You can't do that unless you're conscious that you've got a transplanted kidney. You don't have two normal kidneys. They're gone. They're not working. And they won't work. But this kidney transplant, you'll still have life-changing situations and you deal with them as they come. I think that's the most important thing to remember, that this journey, you have a look at kidney solutions during that time. I couldn't have never done what I did for recovery had it not been for Shannon Mulray from New York, who's been our donor coordinator at Kidney Solutions. She just took up the reins and just worked Kidney Solutions while I was gone to perfection. And to Barbie Lundberg, who came on, transplant patient, and did all of our intakes for all of our patients, got them squared away, got them doing what they needed to be doing. And Marilyn Garcia, who's been our webmaster and worked really hard to make sure that the web page was up all the time without incident. And Matthew Novelli is our coordinator of social media. He's done a fantastic job, just a really fantastic job. And Bruce Kraft, who's been transplanted for 54 years, I may have that wrong, who's the president of our board, has been instrumental in making sure that everything's run very smoothly. And they never missed a beat. And I suppose I forgot somebody along. One of them is James Myers, Jimmy Boy, uh, a very, very close friend who was very supportive and worked with Kidney Solutions to keep us going. Well, anyway, that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. I believe that just explaining to you the fact that you can have difficulties, but you can overcome them, and you need the support of others. But remember, always through all of this, you always have the Lord's word help you take care of these things. So, to make sure that you understand that we're still functioning kidney solutions, don't forget to come on and our support group. If you want to be in a support group on Monday nights, we do it every Monday night. Just send Kidney Solutions your email and we'll get you on. You can go to kidneysolutions.org and sign up for it. So, this has been difficult to get back into. It's podcasting is not easy, but it sure is easy for me to work my way through it. I'm glad I'm back, and I hope that you'll share this podcast with people so they understand that life goes on after transplant. And transplant, in my opinion, is the best way to go. It's the best alternative. So, I wanted to leave you with this little thing I shared with the support group Monday night. It's from one of the movies that I've been watching, and I thought it was really reflects what it is to have had a transplant and to be focused on life after transplant. Goes, never be ashamed of anything in your life. Every scar, every mistake, every victory. It's all part of the story that made you who you are. Own it, live it, and never let anyone make you feel small for carrying the weight of your journey. It is yours, and that makes it priceless. I leave you with that. Until the next time, keep breathing.